1982. One down, two to go. Starring Jim Brown, Jim Kelly, Richard Roundtree, Fred Williamson, a bad black machine wasting the mob. All right. A pair of tough cops go after the mob who jinxed the martial arts tournament and injured their buddy. I mean, there's there's not much more to say. During a high-stakes East-West karate tournament, I don't know what that means, Coach Chuck suspects the match is rigged against him. Okay. And somehow the match is rigged. When looking around the other team's locker room gets him shot. Okay. Why is he in the locker room? He calls in Cal and Jay, his partners from California. This is kind of like a death wish thing where you got, need your buddies to come help you out or something. I don't know. After exercising a little persuasion and a lot of brute force, they discover who's behind it all. Now, the only problem is getting back the money Chuck is owed. What money?
I don't like outsiders that come in and ask a lot of questions.
Okay, let's get this over with. From 2019, Got My Hustle Up. Forced to grow up fast after his dad is killed in Dayton, Ohio. Ohio's not capitalized. Period. Not a full sentence. Surrounded by violence and drugs, taking care of his son while child support takes his money. Not a complete sentence. Jason and his partner find themselves in crazy situations. Choices they make will bring him face to face with the man responsible for his dad's death. Is money worth more than loyalty? Witness story of how a hustler has no choice but to get gangsta. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, let's go back. Jason and his partner. Okay, let me fix this. Let me fix this thing. Forced to grow fast after his dad is killed in Dayton, Ohio, and surrounded by violence and drugs while taking care of his son and child support takes his money, Jason and his partner find themselves in crazy situations. Period. Choices they make will bring him face to face with the man responsible for his dad's death. Period. Is money worth more than loyalty? Question mark. Witness the story of how a hustler has no choice but to get gangsta.
So, you watched One Down, Two to Go, starring Jim Brown, Richard Roundtree, Jim Kelly, written by, directed by, starring Fred Williamson.
I haven't seen any of his films. I knew of him before I watched the movie. I think I knew he was an NFL dude, like Jim Brown was an NFL dude.
Yes,
but I didn't actually know he made films. I just knew I had seen him act in something else, but I couldn't tell you what it was.
I don't know if you remember this. Well, you know the title, Inglourious Basterds, which before Tarantino, it was an Italian movie from the 70s about
Okay.
World War II. And then I think a German company took the footage, recut it, and retitled it G.I. Bro. It's all about Fred Williamson as this badass American soldier, like killing everybody.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to watch when it's, and I went back and looked, and he's made so many movies. He started out as like blaxploitation movies in the 70s. If you look at the titles, I'm not even gonna say the names of some of the movies. They're so offensive. But then he started making movies like in Italy.
Oh no, yeah, I know which one you're talking about. But yeah, so yeah, let's not say that that title.
There's a couple of them actually. Let's watch this one. Then I read it. It was karate. It was the mafia, the mob. It was guns. I was like, this has got to be terrible. Let's watch this. And I think it delivered on that. What do you think?
Well, definitely delivered. Definitely delivered. I personally enjoy bad movies. I like Samurai Cop and I like The Room and stuff. And like in recent years, I've been an appreciator of bad movies and stuff, you know, just for the enjoyment factor of it. And this one definitely absolutely delivered on that. It was a horrible film. It was badly directed. A lot of the scenes in the movie, I remember one in particular where they get in the cars and I don't remember, it's two of the guys together in one car, two of the guys in the other car, and they're chasing the mafia guy. I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
And they shoot like, I don't know, 5 minutes or something of the movie's runtime is just the cars driving down the highway. There's no character development. There's no like camera inside the car capturing what the characters are talking about. It's just the cars on the highway driving. And it's just, why are you spending time in your movie on this? And I realized, well, the movie was only like, go ahead.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. The movie was only an hour and 20 minutes maybe.
The movie was only an hour and 20 minutes. And it just immediately, I felt like they were trying to fill up. They were struggling to fill up just that hour and 20 minutes. Yes. So they said, oh, let's just have, what are we gonna do in the middle of the movie? Well, let's spend 5-10 minutes with the camera following cars down the highway because we don't have enough content to fill less than 90 minutes of a movie.
Which is crazy because I was like, this thing's got to be packed with action is what I was expecting. But there was like so much filler in it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it says it was written by, but like, what did he actually write? Let's go back to the beginning. If you could kind of briefly explain what the movie was about.
Oh God, so you're gonna put that on me. Okay, so actually, first of all, I watched the movie, I had trouble. I had trouble with the plot of it, because mostly I was just kind of enjoying how bad it was, whatever. It was hard to follow because it's badly made. So when I finished the movie, I went on Wikipedia to read the plot synopsis. Okay. Even for the basics, I had to go on the wiki page and figure out what the hell was going on, what the plot was. So it starts with a karate tournament. I think it's Jim Kelly and Richard Roundtree they own a karate school, and they compete in a tournament. It's like a tournament in California, or they're like a dojo in California or something. They compete in a tournament, and you see them there, and they compete against other schools of like dojos and stuff. And you find out slowly that there's a mafia connected guy that's there that rigged the tournament for them to lose.
You're on your own, Russ.
On my own? What do you mean?
You guaranteed me a sure thing when I gave you the $100,000 for this karate tournament.
Look, it's in the bag. We can't lose.
I don't like the odds.
But they ended up winning. Their fighter won the tournament. And so the mafia guys didn't expect that. So Jim Kelly's running around, walking around and stuff. And Jim Kelly's the character that finds out, oh, wait a minute, there's evidence this tournament was rigged. They tried to screw us over. And then one of the guys goes and demands the money, because I think the winnings were like 400 grand or something. He demands the winnings from the mafia guy. The mafia guy's like, I don't have the money. I don't have your money. But really, he's like, oh shit, we lost. Like, these guys are after us now. Like, we're not going to pay them, but they're coming after the money. So I guess they recruit Fred Williamson and Jim Brown, who are two cops somewhere else in some other city or something. And those two guys come to where they're at. They start pursuing the mafia guys. That's kind of all I remember.
This is where I got confused, because was it a bet or was it a winnings? Because they were like, hey man, we won the tournament. You need to give us our money. But then they kept saying, oh, we knew about the bet. So was it a bet, or was this the purse for winning the tournament?
Yeah, I don't know where the bet comes in. I just, like you said, I think it was just they attempted, collusion gone wrong with the tournament. They lost. And the Jim Kelly thing, he's like, why did he go to Richard Roundtree? I remember the scene, Jim Kelly gets shot.
What the hell are you doing? You're a hitman now? Who the hell told you you're a hitman?
Tell me, keep him out of the way.
He said keep him out of the way, not kill him. Jesus Christ.
Jim Kelly gets shot. He goes to the back of a restaurant where his girlfriend works, and he tells his girlfriend, hey, go tell what's his name, who ended up being Richard Roundtree. Okay. So she's the one that went to his partner and said, something's going on. Obviously, I'm injured now. And go, call these two cops. We got to figure this out or whatever. And then Kelly ends up in the little safe house in the woods or something with his girlfriend. And the mafia guys found out he's there. They find out he's there somehow. So they come and try to, I guess, snuff him out. And then you have the other Jim Kelly fight scene, one-on-one.
Which was so awkward. Because who was he fighting?
We don't know.
I think he was the guy at the tournament, introducing people. So he must have been on the mafia payroll.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden he shows up and they look at each other, which is that just kind of classic kung fu, you stare each other down, all right, we're going to fight now. We don't have to say anything. But it was so awkwardly done. And Jim Kelly had because he had a bad arm. And he was had his arm behind his back, and it was so, it's Jim Kelly. You couldn't shoot a cool fight scene with Jim Kelly. Everybody saw Enter the Dragon.
He had his moment in the hallway. You said about the hallway fight or whatever. He fought those guys off. That one was, I remember, being okay. And I thought that would set the tone for the rest of the movie. But it's he had one cool fight, and then he had an awkward fight, the injured fight with this guy, and then Jim Kelly was out of commission for the rest of the movie.
He's done.
And that really surprised me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was expecting a bunch of cool. Exactly. I thought it was gonna be Jim Kelly and his guys, Richard Roundtree, Fred Williamson, and Jim Brown, using their karate and fighting skills against the mafia guys. That's what I thought it was gonna be. For revenge,
right,
or whatever. But it's basically two movies, because the first half is the whole Jim Kelly, Richard Roundtree figuring out what's going on. Kelly gets shot, and then there's a bunch of rednecks.
Yeah,
which I think they didn't realize what mafia guys were, because they had rednecks. And then Richard Roundtree's trying to figure out where Jim Kelly is. He goes to the safe house with the girl. And then he leaves them and sleeps in his car. And then the mafia guys show up, pull him out of his car. He tries to fight him off, but they knock him out.
then they sexually assault the woman. Fortunately, they didn't really show anything, but it was so bad. And then they have the Jim Kelly fight. And then the girl shoots the guy Jim Kelly's fighting instead of the guy who raped her. Like, why did he shoot the guy that raped her?
Hey, because that was her boyfriend, man. She's trying to help out her dude there, I guess.
And then Jim Kelly runs away. They grab the girl. And then the second half of the movie starts with Jim Brown and Fred Williamson showing up. I think this is the scene you're talking about, where they're each in a limousine, and they show each car pulling on the on-ramp, going down the highway, driving, and they show the second car pulling on the ramp, getting on the highway. Right, I'm like, what's going on here? But that should be 30 seconds, not 10 minutes. And then they pull into the most disgusting neighborhood full of the most horrifically white trash people you've ever seen in a movie.
Don't bother.
And they're all shirtless, and they have mustaches, and they're smoking weed.
Yeah. Yes. I remember wondering why there's a bunch of idiots sitting around like on city like steps and stuff.
Yes.
Smoking without clothes on. Was this August, or because the movie didn't look like it took place in the dead of summer, yet there's these idiots out there with shirts off. I did not understand that at all.
Fred Williamson filmed things because he thought they were going to be cool. All right, we're going to have our two guys showing up in limousines because they're cool. And then the limousine drops them off in the middle of the disgusting neighborhood and just leaves them. And then Fred Williamson's limo, he's got all these girls with him. What, did the girls travel with him? And then he like kisses every single girl. He's like, all right, okay, I'll see you later. And then they leave. And then they go into, I guess it's the bad guys, probably the mafia has this bar they control in this neighborhood. But again, I think they didn't realize, you know, if this is the mafia, you need like Italian guys or like guys that look connected. This is all white trash, which they did not like. This is not organized crime. It's just guys with mullets. So again, it's an awkward scene where the big yoked up dude's like, oh, I'm gonna run my mouth with these guys. And he would just like pushes them or threatens them.
Sure, you pulled in those limos. Man, you must think you're real cool.
Oh, man. Hey, you're not cool.
You trying to be funny?
No, sir.
As if you was. Man, you ain't
And then Fred Williamson pours a drink on him. And then there's another awkward fight that lasts 4 seconds. And then Jim Brown pulls out a gigantic gun.
Be at the Holiday Inn.
Just to comment about the guns though, because this is not 82 or whatever. It was a good 11 years, I guess, after Dirty Harry came out. But through the whole thing throughout the 70s, continuing into the early 80s, was the whole 44 Magnum thing because of Dirty Harry. If it hadn't been for the whole Eastwood thing, they wouldn't be carrying those guns because they're completely impractical.
me?
Oh, so it's not that they were carrying like 6-shot revolvers. It's the fact that they were carrying 10-pound massive revolvers that were completely overkill.
You couldn't conceal them.
They were shooting like there were scenes in the movie where you couldn't conceal them. You couldn't even, I don't think you can fit a 44 Magnum into a shoulder holster. I don't think they make a shoulder holster for that gun. Maybe I'm wrong. But, you know, there are scenes in the movie where they were shooting at vehicles, and maybe a 44 Magnum, if you shoot the car in the right place, will stop the car, but it's not going to make the car explode.
That's just one of those things.
There were 2 or 3 times where they shot the cars with handguns, and the cars blew up. No, not quite. Not quite.
I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure one of those times the car was just in a junkyard. It wasn't even a running vehicle.
Through, because who gives a shit, because it looks good. It looks cool.
Yeah. So after they leave the bar, it was just a cacophony of nonsense of them going somewhere, trying to get information, and either shooting people or going somewhere else to get information and shooting people. And then then they were trying to they had a briefcase full of money. Was that the money that they were owed?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming it was, yeah.
Because there was 2 bad guys. There was the Mr. Rossi. I think he was a really old guy. And there was one below him named Mario.
And Mr. Mario.
And they, I think he had a briefcase, and they went to a Holiday Inn or something. And Jim Brown killed a bunch of people in the hallway at this Holiday Inn. And then they went in the parking garage, and he shot everybody at this hotel. He killed like 10 guys. And I was counting his rounds. It's like, he's got to be out of ammunition by now. He never reloaded.
Yeah.
And they got the money. It was like, okay.
Nope, of course not.
They got the old guy, the old mafia boss, at the junkyard, and they're gonna there's a shootout with the goons. And I'm pretty sure the old guy dies by friendly fire. And that's when they're just shooting cars and their things are blowing up.
Side, we find them, we find terror.
Damn. We take him that way.
So okay, they've got the money, the friends are okay, and they killed all the bad guys, but the movie wasn't over yet. And then they decided, we got to go kill the white trash guys.
These fucking guys ain't coming here tonight, man.
Yeah, tell me about it.
But I think it's all a waste of time.
And I finally realized after there was a big, I guess they went to like an abandoned warehouse, or it looked like a port or a dock area. They had a big shootout, and some of it looked kind of cool because they were like silhouetted in the dark, and the guys walking, like kind of like a Western gunfire thing. That was kind of cool. But I didn't know what they were doing there. There was a bunch of skanky guys there, and they were going. And then finally, after they murder everybody, and the girl pops out. It's like, oh, Jim Kelly's girlfriend. I forgot all about her. So they did all that to rescue the girl, I guess. Who they didn't know who existed. I guess Richard Roundtree knew about her, but Jim Kelly didn't say, hey, you guys got to go rescue my girlfriend. He never said that.
Kinda. But I think the whole warehouse or whatever industrial complex thing they were at, that was also taken directly from the first Dirty Harry movie. The 44 mag and the climax, the ending in the movie, the whole shootout, it comes directly from the 1971 Dirty Harry, without a doubt. I remember when I was watching it, I thought the same thing. I was like, why are they at this location? Why are they shooting on location at this like steel mill or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Because that's how Dirty Harry ended. And Fred Williamson's probably loved that movie. He's probably like, man, one day I want to make a Dirty Harry kind of movie, and this was it. And he just ripped it off, completely ripped it off.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
But it was, I don't know why they added the karate tournament angle. There was no reason for it. You could have just had, the mafia guys did something and these cops got to go after him. But the karate tournament, it didn't make any sense. And I don't even know how they were friends with Richard Roundtree and Jim Kelly. Where they didn't establish that, like, oh, these are their old buddies and this was how. They just showed up because the girl said, oh, I need to call these guys. Or she called the guys because Jim Kelly said, you gotta call them. They didn't say, we were in Nam together, we went to blah, blah, blah. None of that. They could have said, all right, because they didn't really seem to care about Jim Kelly or Richard Roundtree. I mean, Fred Williams was trying to pick up girls.
Come on in, the water's fine.
No, I don't think I'd be too safe in here.
You don't need that gun in here.
Jim Brown was just murdering everybody. They didn't seem to, like, it wasn't like a personal vendetta at that point when they showed up. They were just there.
They weren't really acting like cops throughout the whole movie.
No.
Lots of missed opportunities. It's like a buddy cop movie, like almost times two, because you have the two cops and then you have the two karate guys. So you could have done all the cliches from buddy cop movies and stuff, could have been there. It was 82, yes. So there was a precedent for those. I mean, there were buddy cop movies, I think, released by that time.
Yes.
They could have just ripped it off and not tried to be so creative and just stole it from other movies, and it actually probably would have been better because you have so many opportunities for the whole buddy cop thing. More opportunities for comedy, especially. There wasn't a lot of comedy in this, I didn't think.
No. Like I said, it was basically two movies in one. With the first, like you said, the first half was the karate, Richard Roundtree. Yeah. The second half was more of a Dirty Harry kind of thing. And I don't know why they did that. And instead of just making it a more streamlined, put two guys in the movie instead of four. You don't need all four guys, even though they're all great. They didn't have mafia guys. They had rednecks. They didn't need any of that karate crap. Just make it a simple, the mafia guys are messing up our neighborhood and we got to go after them. And they just have cool action scenes. One thing that did make me laugh, though, really made me laugh, was the very end of the movie, Fred Williamson's cadre of his harem of girls is outside his hospital room. And they're like peeking in at him, and the nurse is like, you girls get out of here. And they're all in their hospital beds next to each other. And the very last shot of the movie is the dog with the cigar in its mouth, which happened earlier in the movie. And then it freeze frames on the dog with the cigar in its mouth, and the movie ends just like that. I couldn't believe. I was like, this is. Of all the things to do, they end the movie on that shot. That was insanity.
And the dog was shown, it was bad. The dog was shown several times. I actually forgot about the dog until you just said it. But there was a lot of cuts to the dog throughout the movie. And it was intended to be, was it intended to be funny? Obviously, the last shot was intended to be lighthearted with a cigar or whatever. But why did they cut to the dog so many times in the movie? Like, were you trying to be funny? Were you trying to break up the intensity of the scenes? It didn't make any sense. You're talking about scenes that made you laugh. I was going to say, let's talk about the scenes in the movie that actually made you laugh out loud. Let's talk about those, because there are a few of those. The main one that I remember is when they shot all these guys. They murdered all these guys, these rednecks, as you put it, in this warehouse. And the last remaining guy was a dude who was hiding under the car with his little gun, and he was under the car. I'm like, all right, well, are they going to get him, or is he going to get away? And then they almost walk away. He almost like makes it, and I don't know. This idiot like tries to get out from under the car and take him out instead of just staying there and hiding. Yeah. He's seen him murder 20 of his buddies. He's probably staying under the car, but he doesn't. He crawls out. They turn around. Instead of shooting him, they shoot the. I want to say like Jim Brown shoots one tire and Williamson shoots another tire.
Yeah.
Somehow they knew how to do that. And then off screen, you see the car go down and you hear the guy go, "Ah!" I laughed like a bastard when you heard the guy scream.
And the dog stuff was funny because the dog was in the bar when they first showed up to the nasty neighborhood, and they go in the bar and they're trying to get information, which that reminded me of 48 Hours when Eddie Murphy goes to the redneck bar.
Okay.
And he's got the badge, and Nick Nolte says, "Oh, let's see what you can do." And this is one of the great scenes, like an action movie, because Eddie Murphy goes in there and just shuts the place down. He starts kicking everybody's ass, running his mouth.
All right, listen up. I don't like white people. I hate rednecks. You people are rednecks. That means I'm enjoying this shit.
I think that's what they were going for. They go in the redneck bar, and the black dudes show up, and they're getting harassed, and then they turn the tables on. But again, it was so awkwardly filmed. And next thing you know, Fred Williamson takes a cigar out and gives it to the dog. So there was no, like, it just erased any of the tense, like, all right, what's going to happen in this scene? Like, are they going to fight? And he gives the dog the cigar. So after that, it didn't really matter what they did. You know, there's an awkward couple punches. Jim Brown pulls out his 10-pound gun, and then they leave. That was it.
There's one thing I forgot to mention about the first part of the movie. You were touching on, and this is the first thing I noticed, is when they had the extended, overly long fight scenes of the fighters in the ring actually fighting and stuff, which immediately I thought, all right, if Rocky hadn't come out in 1976, you know, if the Rocky movies weren't a thing, they probably wouldn't be even showing these, you know, fighting scenes. So it's like they also ripped off Rocky a little bit. But anyway, the guys just, they'll do like martial arts kicks and it looks real, but then all of a sudden one guy will just run at the other dude and just they're like flailing their arms at each other. It's like, I thought they were supposed to be real fighters. And I remember, well, you said that you read the Wikipedia article as well.
Yes.
I don't know how much of it you read, because if you scroll down,
the whole thing.
One of the reasons why those guys were doing that is because they actually paid the fighters. They paid the winner $500 and the loser $100. Did you see that part in the Wikipedia?
Yes.
So these were real guys trying to win money and probably didn't know how to fight. So they said, all right, go out there and throw a couple of cool kicks for the movie, but other than that, whoever wins gets $500. So the guys are just like running at each other, trying to win money, trying to hit each other.
So all in all,
I mean,
I think this is a good movie to watch. like if you like those, like you said, it's got some Dirty Harry stuff in it. It's got the karate stuff was the weakest part of it to me, because the first half of the movie was the weakest part. The second half, the Dirty Harry knockoff stuff, that was the best stuff to me. You know, I was expecting a cool kung fu-esque, you know, black karate versus mafia guys is what the first half of the movie was gonna be. It didn't really get there, and then the second half turned into a silly Dirty Harry knockoff, which ended up being the best part of the movie to me.
Well, I would agree that I wanted to stop watching it about 5 minutes in, but then I realized we're going to be talking about this, and I probably should watch the entire movie so we have something to talk about. But it did get a little bit more engaging in terms of just enjoying the badness of it later as it went on.
So unfortunately, you said you did not watch the second movie. Actually, it's fortunate, because that one was rough. It was kind of your basic, you know, coming up hard in the hood movie. You know what I mean? So I was expecting it to be terrible. You know, it looked like, you know, cheap, you know, amateur hood movie.
See, where I'm from, you don't hustle, you don't eat.
Good, bro. Ah, man, I ain't seen you in forever, bro.
It was so long. It was over 2 hours long. There was about 3 minutes of story in the movie. So it was rough. So this was a guy, I believe he is a rapper from Dayton, Ohio. There was some semblance of story in that, you know, his dad, the main character, I think his name was Jason, his dad was murdered during a drug deal gone wrong.
I remember my dad told me, it's easy to get money, but it's harder to keep it.
And now he's growing up and he wants to kind of do right by his dad. You know, he wants to make his dad proud even though he's not there. Decent idea, okay? But the movie was just all over the place. Once you get that out of the way, it's all over the place. You got he worked at a pest control company called Get 'em Gone Pest Control. I can't even say the name without laughing. And he went, so him and his partner had to wear like all white. And everybody was like, why are you wearing all white? And he was like, oh man, I'm just working as pest control. Their pest control equipment was like a Roundup sprayer, like a plastic bottle you spray Roundup in your yard. So, okay, the guy wants to have money, he wants to be successful, but he's working at this pest control company. And everybody's giving him a hard time because he has to do this crappy job. Okay, again, not a bad idea, but the execution of it is so bad. These guys are working pest control, this guy and his friend, who was supposed to be like comic relief. He was so annoying. By the way, the character's name was Boop.
Oh, God. Oh, okay.
And then he's got a friend that gets out of jail. The friend's name is Murda Payne.
Of course.
And so it's like, is he going to help the friend who just got out of jail? Is he trying to go straight? And it never sticks to one like straight path of what the story is going to be. And then you have like the big bad drug dealer kind of control the neighborhood. And then it just would be like a random murder would happen. Like somebody would say something to Murda Payne and he would shoot the guy.
Man, now I'm getting jacked, man, by this motherfucker look like
hey, nigga, shut the fuck up. You gotta
fuck you, nigga. You know who the fuck I am?
50 minutes into the movie, there's a thing with the big bad drug dealer and like a drug deal gone bad. And the Jason character and Boop Hawk steal a bunch of drugs. And then they take the drugs and sell them on their own. And then the big bad drug dealer is like, oh, we got to get them because they stole our drugs. So you think, okay, this is going to be the rest of the movie. They're going to have to deal with the big bad drug dealer. And there's going to be a confrontation. And then they go to a strip club and the big bad drug dealer lures him in the back. He's like, man, you stole my drugs. And you're like, yeah, well, we found them. And he's like, well, we'll give you the money. And he's like, okay, well, you can work for me now. And that was it. I was like, what was the point of all that? And then then there was like a 30-minute sequence of them selling drugs for this big bad guy, making money and living the life. Okay, what's gonna happen now? So the whole thing leads to, he's gotta figure out, or he figures out, all right, the big bad drug dealer killed my dad years ago. Now I gotta kill him. So that was the whole point of it all. But it was 2 hours and 15 minutes. It was so long, and there were so many stupid side plots. I will say this. I'll give the guy credit for this. So most movies like this, you know, we've heard the expression of a vanity project, right? And a lot of rappers have
like Purple Rain, like Purple Rain.
You can get away with a vanity project when you're incredibly talented. It's a little bit different when you're
no complaints. No complaints.
It's different when you're a no-name rapper from Dayton, Ohio. So he put all his people in the movie, which is probably why it was so long, because there were so many scenes of people, and he thought, what is the purpose of this scene? And I think it was because he wanted to put all his friends in the movie. As dumb as that is, and as long as and terminable as it made the movie, he was trying to look out for his people in a way. So I will give him that. I'll give him a tiny bit of credit for that.
Oh shit!
Other than that, there isn't a whole lot to say about the movie. There was a comedian in it, which again, I'm like, why is this stuff in the movie? He was on, I used to see him on Comic-Con. This is old school.
Bling bling, motherfuckers! What you looking at? You motherfucker.
It's just nonsense, over and over and over. It was just nonsense. But I think that was, I need a name. I need a name in my movie. So he put this comedian who some people kind of know.
Yes, I know that. You told me if you lick my balls, it's $40. You suck my dick, is another $30.
That's another thing. I don't think this movie was written. I don't think there was a script. I don't think he wrote any scenes. I think he wrote scenarios. We're gonna come up, we're gonna talk to them, and they're gonna do this. So every single scene felt like it was improvised and ad-libbed in the worst possible way. We know every single rapper has to mythologize their hometown and make it seem more epic and grand than it actually is. You know, Bone did it with Cleveland, NWA did it with Compton, all the New York guys did it, not with the city, but with their neighborhoods. There didn't seem to be anything special about Dayton. It was just a town, it's just a town in Ohio with a hood in it, basically. I thought it was gonna be like, in my heart of hearts, what I wished I thought it was gonna be a Bone song come to life. That's what I wanted to happen. Like, take East 99 and turn that into a movie. But they were completely incapable of doing that, unfortunately. Of the two movies, obviously you didn't watch the second one. You saw the trailer, or you're glad you didn't get roped into watching that one. Basically, the second half of One Down, Two to Go was the most enjoyable part of watching these two movies. And again, you didn't watch the one, but you would agree the second half of that movie was fun to watch.
Yeah. But I'd say the third act, where all the gun fights and all the stupid, hilarious scenes and stuff really came to a head in the third act of the movie, the last third of it, I'd say. That's where all just the most ridiculous stuff, like why are they doing this in this film? They're just clearly doing this to try and entertain people and maybe just entertain themselves while they're doing it. I don't know, because there wasn't much else to it. It was just action for the sake of action. Yeah, I agree.
And it wasn't a vanity project like the second movie, but it was. You could definitely tell Fred Williamson really wanted to show how badass he was, how cool he was. Every outfit he had, I think, was like every outfit was like down. It's showing his chest. He had a cigar in every scene. He was always picking up girls, or he had a bunch of girls with him, which none of the other characters were like that. It was just him, which I was like, this is just him. This is not the character. This is just Fred Williamson being like, hey, I'm Fred Williamson. I got girls, I got a mustache, and I got a cigar. So yeah.
Come Rick James, bitch.
Yeah. You know, I said I wanted to see a Bone song come to life, which we used to listen to those songs, and they sounded so epic because of the storytelling and how, you know, for real, like they made this world seem epic and dangerous and some place that even though you didn't want to go there, you were intrigued by what was happening. Versus this movie, his songs are in the movie, and the movie is a representation of his songs.
Hey, for that whole ass nigga. Nigga, I work for me, nigga.
Oh, I forgot. One of the worst parts of the movie, which happened repeatedly, is that multiple characters in the movie were wearing t-shirts that said "Got My Hustle Up." They were wearing t-shirts of the movie they were in, including in a flashback scene from 12 years earlier. I think
you're probably reminded of the same thing. Okay, so you're probably reminded of the same thing I am. I immediately thought of Can't Hardly Wait, where Breckin Meyer's like, you can't wear the t-shirt up to the gig, up the band that you're in.
Yes.
Anybody order a love burger? Well done. 1, 2, whoa. What is that?
It's one of our shirts, man. We're in it for publicity.
Those are for the fans. You don't wear the shirt of the band you're in.
I think it's cool. Throw me one.
No, we don't throw him one.
I honestly think he paid people in t-shirts and said, you can be in my movie, and that was their payment. There was also on the wall.
It's entirely possible. Yeah.
On the wall behind them, there was a huge logo, "Got My Hustle Up," of the movie that they're in. I was like, you can't do that. Man, they tried. They really tried. They had some drone shots. A couple times I was like, oh, they got a drone to get some shots. I was like, okay, they tried. They really tried. They did not try with the story or the characters, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's about all I got to say for Got My Hustle Up.